there's like a streamer awards.
Okay, yeah.
Hosted by a streamer, Cutie Cinderella. She's let me open it twice for both years. I've been the opener. I got up to do my performance and it just like my computer froze.
Oh man.
It's a lot of just like figuring out how to space your fingers so it sounds okay.
Yeah, I'm sure
know.
if I just space my fingers out across a grand piano, I'll sound exactly like you.
If you play an A minor, you might surprise yourself. I think usually when someone's gonna mess with you, you can. Is that a penis, by the way?
That is a penis.
Nice.
It made me think of you because I was like, if anyone with Ari on this stream, as I was watching you, I was like, I'm gonna drive over there and beat their ass right now.
It's just 54.
Just 54 pounds.
It's a mere 54 pounds.
That's
weight.
twice your own body weight. You're just rolling around the streets.
That I gotta go, hold on, wait, gotta run it on these beats, I'm spitting to my know that you love it with a feeling, wait, no, you love it when you're feeling, wanna push it through the roof or I'm pushing through the ceiling, yeah, fuck all of the dinners, and he looking good in the black on black, got a shirt and a mansion, baby, I laugh it, he rap with a passion, this man.
I get bummed that the IRL mic isn't as good because I'm used to these like sexy ass vocals, and then I just sound like, I don't know, like it's uncompressed and shit.
What's the IRL mic you use?
It's like it's the Britney mic and the Justin Bieber mic.
What?
You remember Justin Bieber in like a baby era when he like had that mic that went like all the way? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
It's that actual mic.
Right. It's very much like you're right. Like pop stars use it when they go on stage.
Yeah.
That is such a pop star mic.
But it doesn't sound as. I don't know how. I mean, they're talented. I guess they could make any mic sound.
You
good.
look like Justin Bieber when you have that mic.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, my mom would look like Justin Bieber with that mic.
I mean, we're indistinguishable from JB.
We're basically the same person.
Exactly.
By the way, nice shave.
Thank you.
You look nice, clean shaven. I'm glad you didn't show up today with like just some scrappy ass,
so messed up.
half-ass beard.
That
like
would be
I
so
usually
messed
do.
up.
So this is Ari, by the way, everyone.
Yes.
We've already just we're already hot.
I didn't know we started.
Everything's live. Yeah, we started
Okay.
a minute ago.
Yeah.
But this is Ari from AriAtHome. AriAtHome, thanks for being here, man.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah. This is actually the first time I've even met you in person.
Yes.
It's wild. Well, first of all, you want to tell people kind of like what you do? Because I feel like you'd be better at explaining that.
I can do that. So I do improv music. So it's basically music production, but I try to do it as fast as possible. So like cranking out a song in like whatever 10, 15 minutes and then immediately cranking out the next. And the reason I know you is because I started streaming that kind of content like in 2020
on Twitch.
On Twitch, just chilling in my bedroom, making beats and trying to put some bars together over them. And then that was fun. I did that for a while. And now I'm trying to I'm getting into like the IRL world. So I've been like building this rig that's lets me do the same thing, but it straps to my body, and then I walk around like Iron Man, like a very stupid, kind of much bigger, chunkier Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then I try to make songs fast while I walk around.
So you basically more or less you do like you said, improvised music production. I mean, when someone makes a track, I mean, it probably takes what, days, weeks? How long does generally?
I don't know, man. I mean, Crank That took 5 minutes. Soldier Boy, it's I mean,
it's like the same 3 notes, so that's understandable.
True. But no, actually the reason that I started doing it was I was always very intimidated by music, like instrumentalists and players, because I was like, I'm not as good as those people. So I like, what would I perform? But what's cool about music production is your music chops don't actually need to be that good to make something really cool. And often people that are instrumentalists principally, they get to like, they just always want to flex. So they're always like, if they're doing music production, making a beat, they're going to go like they're always trying to make it too crazy. So actually, like, probably a lot of the hit songs that you know, where you like the instrumental, is made by someone with like a much more simple understanding of music theory than you would think.
Interesting.
So
you don't have to be a Mozart, basically.
Nah, it's like sometimes, because like pop music and a lot of hip hop, it's like the reason it's catchy and the reason people like it is because it's simple.
Right.
Like a thing that I've had to learn, and a lot of people have to learn, is how to simplify. Like,
right.
Don't add a million things.
Right. Less is more type of thing.
Less is always more.
But I mean, like, I feel like you're downplaying a little bit, because like you have to have some musical knowledge. I couldn't just like, you couldn't just do it overnight. Okay, so just to clarify, because I feel like what you do is so unique that I feel like some people who are listening still might not have a full grasp of exactly what you do.
I don't even have that right now.
That's this whole podcast, trying to
Let me-
demystify what it is you actually do and how you do it. So basically, it's like, rather than spending days or weeks producing a song, you produce songs on the spot while you're streaming, generally within 10, 15 minutes.
Yes.
And you're just doing this over and over. You're just making new songs constantly.
Yes.
And you're doing this on usually like a keyboard. What are the other pieces of equipment generally?
Yeah,
like a looper?
it's a looper,
Right.
a keyboard, and then just some extra MIDI controls.
Okay, so you're doing all that, and you're doing this in real time, and then once you have a steady beat going, after you've kind of added layer and layer, you start freestyling over it, and you'll actually freestyle lyrics just from the top of your head in real time. And you'll do this for several hours a stream, just like it's nothing. Like you do it in your sleep now, it almost seems like.
Yeah.
And more recently, you've actually taken all of that equipment on the road, basically like man on the street type stuff, where but you're still streaming, you're still broadcasting to the world just from, 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, which is where you were live streaming just the other night, or downtown LA somewhere, Hollywood Boulevard. You were doing streams in London where you're just walking around with how much, like, 80 pounds of gear? It looks like insane.
It's just 54.
Just 54 pounds
it's a
of
mere
gear.
54
that's,
pounds
That's
of weight.
twice your own body weight. You're just rolling around the streets,
Whoa.
and you're making these tracks. I'm throwing the shade. You're making these tracks, and you're freestyling on the spot, and you're attracting people. People are like just they're following. They're like, you're starting like mobs.
I'm in my Pied Piper arc.
It's insane. It's almost like a single man flash mob in a way.
It's basically like it's like a one man band, but electronic edition.
Right.
And then instead of playing songs, I'm making up the songs.
So it's like improv, and it's like you've kind of transitioned from, you're still doing the stuff at home as well, but now it's like there's a street performance element to it.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting and new for you.
Yeah, I love it because I'm getting my live. I'm getting my 10,000 hours of live performance in.
Yeah, and your 10,000 steps.
My 10,000 steps every day. I get in my 10,000 steps.
Yeah,
now.
dude.
No, but because when I was in my room, like a lot of people that do improv are like performer type people, and I'm like, my background is just music production, so I have no performance experience up until I started doing this a few years ago.
Right.
And so like, this is good because when I started streaming, people would find me and they'd want to like book me for shows and stuff. And I do shows and be so bad because I don't know how to win over a crowd. I don't know how to be like fast enough but like still me making stuff that I like that's not rehearsed or pre-made.
Right.
So this has been cool because I feel like I'm still getting to do what I like to do, which is like making stuff up on the fly and always trying to. I mean, I don't always succeed at this, but what I try to make each song like unique. Because otherwise I'll get bored if everything sounds the same. So I'm always trying to like encourage myself to take risks, which sometimes don't work and sometimes work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool to be doing this now outside of my room.
I feel like the IRL streams are working though. It feels like they're paying off, and it seems like everyone's super hyped about them.
Oh yeah, I love them, and they get. I like them too because I feel like I learned so much. I don't know if you feel this, but like. When you do similar things so long, you're only improving at a very granular level.
Of course.
Versus like this is like there's so many areas of knowledge that I've had to like plunge myself into in the past year. It's it feels much more enriching.
Well, it's sort of like whenever you're able to remove yourself from your comfort zone, is generally when you see the most growth. Yeah. Right. And it's kind
you
of
just have to deal with everyone being like, wait, man, this sucks.
Yeah. And it's like, it will suck at first.
It's gonna suck for a while.
You're never gonna start something new and be great at it. You know what I mean? So so that's why it's a risk, but you're finding it very fulfilling, it seems.
Oh yeah, I love it.
It seems like you were maybe getting a little stir crazy just, at home with the desktop set up, and just like, I got to try something new. Yeah. And that's really commendable. How did you kind of overcome that maybe sort of apprehension that you're not really a performer, but taking on this new experience that is very performance heavy?
I think why did I decide to do that? I think so when I was just doing production, I did always have a vision of like, I wanted to play live, and I wanted to, I didn't want to just like, how like rappers will like rap over their instrumental and like, that's it. And sometimes even a lot of times now, like rappers they'll play the song too. and then just kind of be like yelling over it. But like
Right.
they could turn their mic off and it would kind of be the same performance.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like it's more like the jumping around is the performance, not like
Right.
the vocal performance.
Right.
So I was always like, because I was always like making songs and making the instrumentals. I wanted that to reflect in my whatever I performed.
Sure.
So the reason I got the looper was to like, you ever seen those like really like tight looping performances where someone is like making the song, they're like singing the song while they're making the beat, and they just
Right.
make the whole thing in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I was doing that.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, this isn't like creative. This is like really choreographed, serious. It's like, A, it goes so fast that most people don't even realize that you're putting it together live.
Sure.
And B, it's stressful. Because
Right.
if you mess up one thing, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So actually the reason I started doing like improv stuff was because it took a lot of stress off of me. Because it was like, if I mess up, who cares? Like,
Right.
it's like I got
free form.
time. Like
Right.
I'll make something work.
There's
like,
a certain forgiveness
Yeah.
that's allotted when you're improvising something on the fly.
whenever I talk to people
understand.
and they're like, dude, like you're gonna go up on stage, you're gonna make that up. Aren't you scared? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a little scared, but I'd be way more scared if like I had a tight 3-minute thing that I have to nail. Like this,
Right,
I can
exactly.
I think it's a more forgiving format.
It's
so I
kinda
started
like,
doing that.
It's kind of like how like I always liked like English or literature in school more so than math because there were no right answers.
Yeah, you can wing it.
You could just wing
Exactly.
it. You could show up for an essay and just like bullshit.
Yeah.
As
That's actually what I majored in. I majored in bullshitting.
Oh, so that's an interesting thing too, is that you kind of started off as a student and you started streaming from your place while you were still in school. Is that correct?
Or
was it-
no?
was it
I
before
started.
school?
I like took a. How did it? happen?
Also careful on the
Oh,
table.
I'm
It'll
just
pick
banging
up.
it. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I was like,
I'm just
I was like,
slamming
are you
at
dropping
every
beats
answer.
right now? What the hell's going on?
I was yeah, when I started streaming, it was right when COVID started. So I was home,
Yeah.
but I was like doing those like dumb Zoom classes.
Yeah.
But then I took a year off. So I had 1 semester pending.
Okay.
So I took a year off, and that's when I started on Twitch. I was chilling in my grandma's apartment.
Nice.
And then when I started to get traction on Twitch was when I went back to school for a semester, and I was streaming from
Okay.
my dorm, which
Right.
was cool. I probably could have taken a more like, look at me, I'm in school angle. Like here I am walking around the campus, but I don't know. It seemed like silly to me.
Yeah. What was a better environment to stream from? Your grandma's house or your dorm room?
Dude, that's a good question. I liked my grandma's house just because it looked so nice.
Yeah.
And she wasn't there because it was like she had this like other apartment.
Okay.
That she would like frequently go to, but because it was COVID, it was in New York. She was like not there.
Right.
So it was like now I'm not really there as much because she is.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. The dorm room was cool because I like would sometimes have friends like pull up, and like I had a couch.
Yeah.
I put my bed in like my room kind of had a little hall in the entrance and then a big space.
Yeah.
So I moved the bed into the hallway. Like
Oh, shit.
like
Like just in the middle of the hallway?
no like there was you would open the door to my room and there
Yeah.
was like a little, like an entrance
Yeah,
hallway type
okay,
thing,
yeah,
like
yeah,
not
yeah.
like a public hallway.
Right.
I'm just like sleeping outside in the hall.
Yeah, I was like, that's wild.
No,
dude.
no, but so like when you went in when you opened the door to my room, you had to like go in your side and creep past the bed.
Okay.
But then it looked like a pretty big space.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Like
Gotcha.
I lived in a tower where there was no common space. So then my room was the common space, and I could like stream and people would come in and like
That's
chill.
sick.
I don't
Different
know. I
vibe.
like that.
Different vibe for sure.
Yeah. Now it's more lonely when I do the desktop stream.
So that actually leads me to my next question, which is, I'm sure that you definitely have streamed at different locations now for the IRL stream. I saw you did New York, you did London, you're doing LA now. What's the vibe sort of been like? How's it been different from city to city? Because I'm sure each city has its own unique feel.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been in enough places to have too good of a take on that, but I mean, I'm biased because I'm from there, but New York is cool. Because in New York, people are just like down. Like I feel like I don't know if there's another place in the world where people just like see it and they're like, I want to join in. I want to dance. I want to go crazy.
Right.
Like I've been in now London like the past few months, and I'm doing my stream there, and those people do not want to join in at
You said
all.
you were getting yelled at after 9 p.m., right?
Yeah, they're yelling at me for being too loud. No, they don't like mess with me too much. Like it's not that it's hostile in London. Like if you watch one of my streams there, it's funny because you see a lot of heads turn. Right. So it's like a lot of people look at me and they take out their phone and they take a photo.
Sure.
But like what makes IRL, what makes the IRL format cool outside of music is like the engagement with your environment.
Right.
And like, there's not really that much there. Like, I think they're just really polite and they mind their own business, which is, it's nice.
As the British usually do.
It has its perks for sure. I can for sure, like outside of this context, understand that being dope. Yeah. But like, yeah, for what I do, it's like my goal is to turn every block into like a block party, you know?
Right.
And like try to get as many people to be like turning up with me as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
So they seem a little more closed off there. I think, I mean, in LA, I've only now done 2 streams.
Okay.
But they've been nice. Like people have, they've been in smaller, more like concentrated areas.
Dude, I caught some of your stream last night. I think it was last night. And I think it was in Santa Monica, right?
Uh-huh.
And I just like tuned in, and there was like a group of like 20 people behind you just swing dancing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Night.
No, that's 2 nights ago.
And I was, 2 nights ago. And I was like, what the is going on? I was like, did he hire these people?
That was
so
yeah.
Explain this, because it's like mind blowing.
Dude, it was amazing. There was like we're just like that was in I guess it's in Santa Monica, the 3rd Street Promenade.
Yeah.
And we got there a little too late, so it was pretty dead because all the shops were closed.
Right.
So I was like, dang, I guess we'll just like kind of go back and forth on these like 3 blocks. And then we were walking down, and there's just like 30, 40 people dancing. And it was like, I don't think it was a class or what do you call that?
It's like a meetup or something.
Yeah, like a meetup, and it had a sign, and it was like swing dance or something.
Sure.
And they were like doing these cool things. So I started, initially when I saw them, I was like, oh, like I'll keep walking because they got their own music playing. I don't want to like step on any toes.
Right.
And then my buddy that I was walking with was like, yo, like they're asking you to come back.
Nice.
I couldn't hear because my headphones
they
on.
They were inviting you in. They're
they were like
us.
they wanted me to play and
That's
for them to
sick.
dance. So I just like I started singing about like swinging, like sexual swinging. I was just like I think that's
Great
what I was
move.
singing about as I was walking away from them.
Right.
And then my friend was like, oh no, they want you to play, and I was like, oh. So then I like walked back, and I'm like singing about like swinging while these like 40 people are like dancing in the back.
They were
It was
loving
dope.
it though.
Yeah,
they were eating that shit up.
I loved that. That flash mob vibe is sort of what I'm chasing.
And I think that's such the cool thing about not just streaming, but streaming out in public.
Yeah.
Is that there's even more variables at play, and there's so much more randomness to be had.
That's what live stream has.
Just like random like human interaction that it just adds the spice to the stream, and like just moments like that are so. They seem so precious because they're unscripted. They just happen,
real, bro.
And it's like it was like the fact that you would start it off in this very empty part of Santa Monica on like a weekday. It just seemed dead, and it was like, what's the point of this? Where is this going? And then you just stumble across a gem like that, and you're like, dude, this is a mate. Like
I think that's like what's
striking gold.
That's what makes like internet live streaming, especially. I don't know what its future has, because. Like we were talking before, like about how short form content seems to be where everyone is headed. Yeah. But it's the level of spontaneity that isn't really in. You don't see it in other fields as much. Like it's why it's always interesting when I see like bigger live streamers try to like sort of imitate TV formats where it's like a game show or just like something more like put together with like really
polished.
nice cameras and stuff. Yeah. And like I think that like the live streaming audience, they really liked the scuffedness of a lot of live stream events just because you actually don't know what's going to happen next. Like even on TV, like if there's a gaffe, like they're watching it on a delay so they can like try to like bleep it out and like you know sanitize it a little bit, and like just like the fact that like the viewer doesn't know what's coming next, but also the participants don't know what's going to happen. Just that's what makes it so exciting.
I think that like we have entered this new era in social media, especially with like TikTok and stuff, where viewers just people are just craving authenticity above all else. You know, it's like because like so many YouTube channels that just started in their mom's basements are now fully fledged production companies, and there's just that high level of polish, and there's a place for that. But I feel like as a creator, I increasingly see social media content becoming and feeling more and more scripted like TV. Yeah. And I think we're starting to like now revert back to like, we just want something raw and organic that feels real.
I mean, dude, if you want me to shut off that teleprompter over there, like we can go off the books, bro. Sure. We don't got to do the script.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Dude, that's the beauty of it, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like I was gonna ask you. Did you hear about the Andrew guy, the keyboardist who's a street performer who the chick just broke his keyboard and stole his tips, like took his tips out of the jar.
That was like yesterday, right?
Yeah, it just happened this week.
Oh yeah, yes, I did. I saw that video on Twitter.
It made me think of you because I was like, if anyone f***s with Ari on this stream,
Dude,
as I was watching you, I was like, I'm gonna drive over there and beat their ass right now. But it led me to wonder, like, has any shit like what's the worst thing someone live has done to you or done like while you're performing?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. Yeah, you're right. I think I tried to put it out of mind because I was like, yikes, that's something to worry about.
Yeah,
I think I was actively trying to not think about that.
Right. Sorry, I just brought that to the forefront of your mind.
No, I've been fortunate enough where nothing too crazy has happened. Like I've had like some like drunk people pull up and they like want to play on my keyboard.
Frat boys. Frat guys.
Yeah, no, actually, well, like in London, a lot of like old men will just, and they're like, but like, this is unique.
London men will grow up anything.
This is more unique in London. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
This is more unique in London. I would say a lot of the drunk, like, I think older people drink more. Yeah. And they're like nice. At least many of the ones I've encountered. So like, dude, there was this guy that came out and he was like piss drunk and he was like, oh man, like I want to play the piano. And I was like, oh dude, you can like try to play a little bit. And then he was like, I'm sorry, man, I'm so drunk. Like I suck at this. And he was like, but he was so nice.
At least he was aware of it.
And then I usually they like play their little thing and then I leave. Yeah. I think it's helpful that like, unlike that guy, I have legs and I can use them while I play. So like I people that watch me are often like, dude, why don't you stay in the same place and try to like build a crowd? That actually makes me more nervous. Like I like the idea of being able to walk. I remember
it's
now
almost like a nervous walk.
Yeah, dude. Well, I have to actually learn to slow down because I'm a very fast walker, and even with the rig, I walk too fast. Yeah. I'll be walking with a friend. They'll be like, dude, you're
leaving me behind.
I'm tired.
You've got 54 pounds on.
Yeah. So because I think often. Yeah, I remember now because I saw that video and then he posted a little more about it and he had mentioned that like I think you can see in the video like they come up first and they mess with him a little bit and then they leave and he's like whatever and then she comes back and does that. Yeah, I think usually when someone's gonna mess with you, you can is that a penis by the way?
That is a penis.
Nice. All right, I was just like.
Courtesy of Witch.com.
Amazing. A nice little insert.
You're the first one to notice that or like to comment on it.
I was like in the corner of my eye.
Never really clicked that like this might be really distracting for guests. Maybe I should remove the blatant penis plushie.
But it has legs.
It does have little legs.
I wish mine had legs. Yeah, somewhere to like walk around a bit.
That's a fast stick.
That's a weird
Fast food.
All I was gonna say is you can it's usually not completely random. Someone doesn't come up and like pour a bunch of water on your stuff. Okay. Like they're gonna they usually want to mess with you a little first.
Sure.
So I feel like you can usually sense out the vibe, and because I'm moving, I'm pretty aware of like who I shouldn't give too much attention to.
Yeah, exactly. Don't look them in the eyes type of thing. Yeah.
I mean, but I've now like I was living in New York for like 3 years, so I'm very good at like keep your eyes ahead and just walk. If people try to fuck with you, just walk. Like
right.
Yeah.
And do you think that like being like, wait, are you from New York originally?
I'm from like upstate New York.
Okay. Yeah. But you've lived in the city for some time.
Yeah.
Do you think that helped give you sort of like a rough exterior? Because earlier off camera, you were talking about like how like haters in real life don't really bother you that much. It kind of you just let it roll off.
I love them.
Do you think like your background from New York helps with that at all? Or it's just kind of like a rough city? It's like people are rough around the edges?
No, I don't think people are ever...
Or maybe
I don't
more
think
like
no one's been mean to me.
Thick-skinned.
I don't know. I don't think that's it. I think it's just that it's good content for someone to be mean to you in real life.
Right. So when the cameras are rolling, you're almost like, dude, you're helping the algorithm. You're helping
amazing.
Engagement.
Yeah. I think if I wasn't, if I was not streaming and all I was doing was like busking and just performing for the real audience, and then people were heckling me,
right?
I think that would bum me out.
Be a little different, yeah.
But it's the same like comedians. Like when they get heckled, it's an
opportunity.
They do some of their best content like
exactly,
that.
Yeah.
So I think it's different. It's weird. Like I think even random internet comments from people, I don't know anything about them. Who are they? What's their motive? Yeah. Even those are kind of like more distressing because there's no way to like. There's no way to turn it around in your favor. Like if you paid attention, they're winning, not you.
Right.
Versus in real life, I just it's hilarious. I don't know. Maybe something will happen where then I'll be like, never mind.
Yeah. I feel like when you get attacked in person, there's more like there's closure to it. There's a beginning, middle, and end. Yeah. Whereas you get hit online by some troll, it's just you could say something, but it's screaming into the void.
It's
You're
also
not really,
it's
a
also
one-way
like,
street
if
of
you
communication.
Internalize it. I remember. I mean, I've gotten better at it, but when I first started, and I mean. To be fair to the haters, I wouldn't co-sign shitting on anything online, like publicly, but I was a lot worse 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So people would be mean to me. And I remembered after I finished a stream, you know, I would have had like all sorts of lovely, nice comments and then whatever, like 3 really mean ones. And I would never remember a nice one at all.
Dude, 100%.
I would and I probably at this time, weeks later, I could have told you what the hateful comments were word for word.
Yeah.
And the thing, like when people shit on you online, some people are very like dedicated hate watchers.
Right.
Most of the people that are shitting on you, they're not thinking about you 5 minutes after.
Exactly.
They say the thing like, dude, you fucking suck. And then they're off to do something else.
Right. But then it ruins your whole day, or
Yeah.
it can ruin your whole day.
Yeah.
It's like it was nothing for them. They're just like, all right, now I'm just going to off.
Yeah.
And then you're like still thinking about it hours later.
Yeah.
I think it's usually like the negative comments, because negative comments don't really get to me nearly as much as they used to.
Yeah.
But I think we're all human. Like sometimes you're susceptible to it.
You're having a bad day
But I think
too.
the ones that really get to most creators, myself included, are the ones that sort of confirm your own negative thoughts about yourself.
Dude, the ones that are like
the
kind of
things
true.
Yeah, exactly. The things that you're already self-conscious about, and they just confirm it. And you're like, shit, damn it, he's right.
Oh yeah, no, like even when I'm because it's improv and I want there to be risks that I'm taking, so that it could potentially, really surprise me.
Yeah.
It means that sometimes I make stuff that I don't even really like while I'm making it.
Right.
So yeah, when someone shits on me while I'm making something I don't like, I'm like, man.
You're like, I know it
Versus
sucks.
like if I like something I'm making and someone's mean, I'm like, dude, I don't care. This
exactly.
fucking rocks.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
It's when they know. Because sometimes they know.
Because you're your own harshest critic.
Yeah.
And like those are the comments that hurt the most, is like when they're just backing you up almost.
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
What do you think helped you get like better? Just like more exposure to it?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of exposure, and then just like being tired of being tired, like just like getting sick of just the whole thing. And like sometimes like early on I would like reply when when comments were still like manageable. I had like 50 comments on the video where you could reasonably reply to like certain people if you wanted to. And then at some point it just got more exhausting, and I realized like it wasn't going anywhere. It's like I don't need to try changing people's mind about me. If they don't like me, they don't like me. And like I have a million other things that I should be doing apart from talking to this person. And so you just kind of like learn to just let it roll off of you.
No, I definitely I've
focused.
think even when I was more bothered, I've tried to never engage, because they're always sort of waiting if you're actually
exactly
bugged.
And it's like it's a fight. Even if you won it, what are you winning? Like it's no one's winning anything really.
Nothing was
it's completely
achieved.
Pointless.
But
I was going to ask you actually, and maybe I should have started off with this, but what exactly is your background in music, and how did you get started with that?
Because
I'm guessing that came before your interest in like freestyling and stuff.
My family's pretty musical. Like my dad is an orchestral conductor.
Okay.
Damn. So yeah, he's
Holy
like waving he waves a stick at people for money.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah, dude. And my brother does it too. He's like still he's not as lit as my dad yet, but like he doesn't have his own orchestra, but he will, dude.
Your dad's like living the Gen Z dream. It's like, let's do as little as possible and make the most amount of money.
Whoa, dude, you're shitting on my family's professions.
Just a joke.
Damn. No. I mean, I've always roasted him. I'm sort of I'm
all you do is move a stick.
Yeah,
that's all you gotta do.
I say that shit too.
That's all you do. You stick mover.
Stick mover.
Give me that stick.
I'm even. I guess I care more about like the creative process than I do playing too. So like I never wanted to be like a instrumentalist playing other people's music. But but growing up we all had to play the piano and a string instrument.
Oh damn.
So I had
you
to take
and your
lessons.
siblings.
Yeah, me and my 2 siblings, and we all had to. And I hated it then actually.
Yeah.
I hated. Because I was being forced to, and you have to practice, and then I never practiced, and then my teachers would be like, "Dude, you fucking suck." I'd be like, I hated it, and I only, I stopped taking piano lessons. I got out of it a little early. My siblings did it longer, but like when I was like 11 when I stopped.
And when did you start? How old?
I don't know, like 6.
Okay.
I was playing like hot cross buns. I
Yeah,
wasn't doing anything virtuosic, but I never got that good at like just being like a piano player. Like I couldn't even really like sight read. I wasn't playing anything too complex. Versus like my brother is like I'm like probably like the 3rd best pianist in my family.
Damn, that's
maybe
wild.
even 4th. So but then after I stopped taking piano, we just had this really nice piano in our living room. So I would always like mess around on it and just like that was doing improvisation, even though I wasn't really like thinking about it. And I
Right.
really liked that. I liked just like, and my dad like was like super nice. He was always like, wow, you sound just like Debussy. I did not sound like that guy at all. But yeah, so we had a, not just like a musical family, but like a really like positive music reinforcement family.
Yeah. What string instrument did you play?
I played the double bass.
Oh,
because it was the
nice.
biggest instrument. So I thought it would be really impressive to people.
Yeah, no.
And it wasn't.
Size doesn't matter. Always.
Yeah, they weren't I thought it would be pretty sick to be carrying around a very heavy object, and look what I do now. It's the more things change, the more they stay the same.
It's like bros in like pickup trucks, like
yeah,
the really high,
yeah.
compensating a
Me
little
and
bit.
my double bass, I was like, this is exactly like a pickup truck.
Did you have truck nuts on it?
I had a wheel.
You had a wheel on it.
I never figured out how to rev up the double bass.
That's sick.
But
dude.
yeah, so then I got into like music production when I was like in middle school, and that wasn't anything anyone else in my family had ever done, but they were super like my dad especially like super supportive of it.
Nice.
So that's how I got into it.
Nice. And then what would you say is your background with like freestyling? Because that's something that I feel like you're insanely good at. Like anyone who's watched your
that's very
streams,
sweet.
anyone who I've shown your streams to so many of my friends, and they're like, dude, this kid's crazy.
Oh, well, you're very nice.
Because I feel like it's something that you can identify. Someone who can just like flow like that. I feel like for the average person who's doesn't have a musical background, it's easier to identify that talent than like, holy crap, he's making these beats on the fly.
Yeah, it's definitely a more like legible thing.
For sure. So what's your background in that? Like, how did you get started freestyling?
I got into rap around the same age, like in middle school, and then I would just come home. I don't know if you've had this experience. I didn't know that people hang out after school.
Like in middle school and stuff, in high school?
In high school, I started to figure out that people hung out.
Would hang out,
but
yeah.
I wasn't like I wasn't like the coolest kid, but I was like fine. Like no one was like being too harsh to me or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I think I grew up like not in like the suburbs, but not in a development. So it was just like on my street. No other kids lived on the street. It was all like old or maybe even dead people. There were some houses where I never saw someone
some
leave.
bodies.
Maybe just some bodies
piling up.
But so I would just come home and then I would just like put on some beats and try to rap. And when I started, I recorded all of them. So I have all of these like horrible recordings of like 11-year-old me trying to like rap, and I sound like shit. I was in the YouTube rapper pipeline where you just like you think that like Eminem and all of his clones are like the sickest ever, and then you try to,
for sure.
It's been a long process trying to rehabilitate myself from that.
I feel it.
Yeah, so that's how I did it.
Were you ever putting pen to paper, like writing lyrics, or was it mostly improv?
No. I was doing that too. I always thought that like freestyling was really cool, and I always thought people that freestyled written bars was not cool. Like I whenever I would see like on like radio shows people freestyling, I was always like, oh, I want to hear them like really do it.
Yeah.
And like there's not that many people in the world that are that sick at it. What I was gonna say though, I mean, I appreciate you gassing me up, but I've always thought that the freestyle element of what I do is the weakest, which is why it's funny that it's like, when I'm outside, when I'm improvising a beat, no one is really understanding what I'm doing or caring, and then when I start rapping, they really do care.
Yeah, but in your mind, you're like, no, this isn't the impressive part. It's the music. But everyone was like, oh my God, you're freestyling so great.
Yeah. Well, and the reason is because, like you said, I prioritize flow. So like if you like wrote down all my lyrics, almost all the time you would be like, dude, you're not saying anything. Like I don't.
I disagree.
I mean, maybe
I've heard your lyrics, and I'm like, everything you're saying, everything he's saying is not only rhyming consistently, but there's also it's coherent. They're coherent sentences.
Maybe.
They're coherent. It's not just like random words like you just picked out of like
It's not random. It's not like totally random, but it's not always the most. Like for instance, like I'm not saying punchline. Well, thank you, bro. I was just like, I'm not saying punchlines a lot of the time, because the thing that I like about rapping in the context I do it is I just like that it feels like a song. So that's why I always prioritize like the rhythm over the flow. Like I got really into like mumble rappers in college, because I was like, they're often not saying anything that means anything, but it sounds so. It's just like an instrument, as opposed to like.
Is mumble rapping exactly what it sounds like? They're just not actually saying anything?
No, they're like saying words, but like you can't even really like make out what they're saying a lot of the time.
It's just the style of.
Yeah, the whole point is just like it's sort of like an instrument.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I'm probably oversimplifying that.
Sure.
But yeah, the reason I think I'm weaker at freestyling is because when I make beats, I'm always trying to like feel like I'm being creative. Like I want to make something that surprises me.
Right.
And I think it's in freestyling, I don't get that same sense of creativity. Like it feels more like executing a very strict pattern. And if you listen to like even the best freestylers,
yeah,
you'll be if you like listen through that lens, you'll see there's often not a lot of innovation. Like it's sort of because like it's just like a routine. It's just like a really studied pattern, which to me is like, if I thought I was really good at freestyling, it would be because I would feel like I am like painting, you know, like I'm like, whoa,
Sure.
I'm doing something totally different today that I didn't do yesterday.
Right.
Which I mean, also I make some beats that are not amazing or innovative,
right.
but like I feel like I can actively work towards that. When I'm rapping, I'm sort of just like,
so
I use a lot of the same words and stuff.
Would you
know?
say that like freestyling is kind of like there's like a formula to it in a way, like it's formulaic?
I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I think like the tightest freestylers, have to be extremely formulaic, because unlike in a beat where if I play something wrong, whatever, I'll just like correct it in a minute. If you freestyle, if you like fall off beat, it's really noticeable.
Sure.
So I feel like you're more encouraged to like take fewer risks. What I would say is my hook game is pretty good. My hook game,
that?
like when I lay down a chorus, my choruses are good.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what like draws people in. Like I can come up with a pretty good hook pretty fast.
Yeah.
But then I just use the freestyling to make it seem like there's verses and stuff.
I see. So I'm just curious, like, because it's such a far away concept for me, like being able to freestyle and flow that well.
Did you have a freestyle era? Like
No, I never really did.
In
but
college, you didn't get baked and try to bar out?
No. I think maybe once, like, because one of my buddies likes to freestyle, and I think one time he was kind of doing what you do, producing a song. He's like, just go on.
Yeah.
I did horribly.
Nice.
I just started rapping about his dog.
Amazing.
But it's always blown my mind to see people who can do it proficiently. And I've always wondered, and I've never even had the opportunity to ask someone who does it, but what is really happening inside of your mind when you're freestyling? Are you seeing the words that you want to use 10 steps ahead, or is it like just stream of consciousness? Like, can you explain what goes on in your mind?
I think you're supposed to see the words you say ahead, but
I want to know what you do. What's in your head?
I don't do that. So like, that's why I don't really have punchlines. Like Harry Mack.
Yeah.
So his it's always punchlines. It's always a really tight punchline because he always knows the line he's going to end on, and then he comes up with the rhyme prior to it. Yeah. So it's like someone gives him a word. He never will immediately say the word. Right. He'll set it up so he says that word or the phrase that word goes in the last line.
Kind of reverse engineer it a little bit.
Because it's just like it hits more when it comes at the end.
Sure.
But I don't have any patience for that. So I just like, as soon as I think of the word, I'm like, all right, let me rap it. And then I'm like, I got to figure out what rhymes with that. So my freestyle process is just, I'm constantly like, and like, so usually I can like figure out a rhyme in time, but sometimes I like can't. I'm like,
I don't think I've ever seen you like slip or whatever. No, like I've always seen you like,
you
just
watch
you
enough of me, you'll see me slipping. But the trick is, I mean, this carries outside of rapping. This is improvising in music or in any field. Yeah. Even in like probably like in scenarios, you just like when you trip up, you just keep going. Right. Like the worst thing you can do is call attention to the fact that you messed up. Yeah. Usually if you mess up, if you're fast enough at just keep going, like no one is really picking up on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes people in real rap songs, it doesn't always rhyme at the end of the phrase. Like you could have a rhyme, and then the fourth line doesn't rhyme. Like that's allowed.
That's kind of like it's almost like kind of like a cool misdirect in a way. It's like didn't see that coming.
I didn't even see it coming. Yeah, exactly.
But just convince everyone that it was intentional. Yeah. Do you? This is a funny question that I thought of. I think it's funny. With all that gear on you, and you're just so focused while you're doing these walk around streams. Mm-hmm. You gotta like trip sometimes or run into shit.
I haven't tripped yet.
You've never tripped. You've never run into a pole.
I have. That's run amazing. Into some poles.
That's crazy.
My friends keep me out of traffic.
Okay.
I'm an aggressive jaywalker, like really aggressive. Like I was already pretty bad because in New York I was like, oh, I got this. I grew up in New York. I didn't even grow up in the city, but I'm like, let's jaywalk. Like, let's go. Yeah. And then it's gotten even worse because I got to London and I learned the term London crossing, which is it's just when you cross and there's cars coming.
Okay, so it's like
no, but like some jaywalking is just some jaywalking is like you're just if you look at the traffic light, you're like, oh, like that traffic light, it's about to turn green, but it's red right now. So if I just keep my eye on it and I adjust my tempo, then I'll make it. Yeah. But sometimes in London, there's just like fewer crosswalks. So you just got to get in the street while the cars are coming and just time it so you don't get hit.
Gotcha.
So I just keep getting, I should probably jaywalk less with all that gear. And also like,
I don't want you getting hit, man.
With my setup, it's like the keyboard is right in front of me, but then I have a big pole for the camera that like it's like a selfie stick. So it goes out even farther.
Yeah.
So sometimes like I'll be standing in the crosswalk, but my pole is out there and like the cars are honking because they're about to like smash into my camera. Yesterday, I don't know why, but like my buddy like wanted to like catch a foam football right next to my set, and it just like crashed into the camera.
Oh my god.
It was okay. I mean, it was foam. It wasn't a real one.
That's pretty funny.
So my camera just like flipped over.
That's pretty. While you were streaming?
Oh yeah.
That's funny though.
I was like, dude, why did you try to catch a camera right next to my? No, why did you try to catch a football?
Did
right next
viewers
to
see the camera? Was it caught like coming towards? Like, could you see the football coming towards?
I didn't see it until it whacked into it.
But like, did viewers see the football coming?
No, I don't think so. They're like, oh shit. Yeah, hitting it from behind, bro.
That's dope. You walked around TwitchCon doing this, right? Like streaming and playing and stuff.
Yeah.
With the whole gig, the whole rig.
Yeah.
What was that like? I heard you pulled a pretty big crowd.
I got a squad. Yeah, because in TwitchCon, some of those people actually know who I am, so they're more likely to like pull up.
Right.
And it was just very novel. It was very like weird that was happening.
Right.
So
and like you said, like generally it's harder to pull a crowd in just a regular public space because everyone's like got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Whereas at TwitchCon, they're all there. They're there to be there.
Yeah, they're there to be there. I think also, it's such an interesting task to try to not just be building a crowd, but build a crowd and get them to move with you.
Right. Yeah.
I think every time I walked outside, if I just had like 3 people behind me that were like, you know, when you get like scammed and it's like the dude with like cards or something, and then he has like
it's like a whole team.
But yeah, he's got like a few people that are like, oh my god, I just won $100.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
If I had the equivalent of that, like people that were walking like dancing, like this is the sickest shit. Oh my god, I just found this guy.
Yeah.
Or
Some
like
paid actors,
just some liars.
Paid actors.
Yeah. But like just some people, just so the energy is up.
Just the hype.
Then people join in. Like no one is gonna start dancing if it's just me. If it's one person dancing, maybe. And if I already have a group, then it can just keep getting bigger.
It's like a middle school dance, right?
Yeah.
No one wants to be the first on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Damn.
And if you're me, you don't want to be on the dance floor at any point in the night.
Exactly.
You're too afraid.
How many people would you say you had following you around at that point? And
at TwitchCon?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. We'd have to look at the clip. Maybe like 40, 50 at some point.
That's wild.
I might be gassing up those
And
numbers.
was that just like? Was there any kind of like anxiety from that, or were you just like, dude, this is amazing?
Anxiety because of just there being people.
Just like a huge crowd. Yeah. Just for whatever reason.
No, dude, I can't see the crowd because they're behind me.
Yeah, that's true.
I have no idea what's going on in those streams. Like
Damn.
I am looking ahead.
Right.
And the speakers are behind me, so most people that want to listen go behind me. So it's good for the stream because then you can see them.
Yeah.
But like I can't see most of the people, and I got these like crazy headphones on, that are like these but insanely noise insulating, so I can't even hear.
Right.
So like I'm sort of in my own.
Do you not have
bubble.
like a preview of your stream anywhere visible?
No, that'd be cool to have.
Okay.
I don't. Sounds dope. Maybe
I always assumed that you did.
Here, you got any devices in here I could have?
I got like a few tablets.
That would be sick to have. No, but I don't.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then what do you have? You've got a phone on your wrist. Is that chat?
Yeah. Chat
Okay.
phone. And then I have a screen, like a 10-inch screen.
Yeah.
I used to have a screen on my wrist, but I actually broke at TwitchCon.
Oh, okay.
It's just like some shitty, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Amazon ordered screen.
Dude, that's sick. I do have a few questions from Discord if you're interested.
Yeah. Wait, I wanted to ask you something though before.
Yeah, what's up?
Because it's like, so my setup is sort of like a wearable computer.
Yeah.
With extra bells and whistles. Have you ever with like wearable tech? I feel like this has always been like for like decades now. Everyone's like wearable computers are the future, and they're like maybe not.
Only in very like niche applications, like when VR was first blowing up.
Yeah.
People were trying to figure out a way to have a mobile VR setup, and so the solution that a lot of companies came up with was basically having a backpack PC. and then you just wire everything to the headset or whatever.
It's kind of what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was more or less that, and there's a lot of complications that come along with it. You have to have proper cooling if you need a lot of power.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, it doesn't seem like, because VR takes a lot of, it's high demand, but it doesn't seem like what you're doing is like super intensive, or is it on the processing side of things? I'm not super familiar.
The computer gets pretty hot.
Okay, and what computer is it?
You're gonna make me say it on.
I'm gonna make you say it. Drop it.
It is a Macintosh.
It's
an
a
M1
Macintosh.
Mac.
How old is it?
It's a few years.
It's a few years.
It gets pretty hot. It actually
It gets by.
It really f***ed me this year. It really.
Why?
I
Just
was
took a
playing.
shit?
I was playing the there's like a streamer awards.
Okay, yeah.
Hosted by a streamer. This streamer Cutie Cinderella.
Oh yeah.
But it's like it's legit. Like I don't even know how the fuck she did this, but like it's a better award show than like any of like the real ones. Or,
oh wow.
They're like whatever, like put on by the platforms themselves.
Damn.
Like she got a whole like team and production crew and stuff, and
Damn.
every single like famous streamer is there.
That's sick.
And she was so nice. She's let me open it twice
wow.
for both years. I've been the opener, even though a lot of people there are like, who is this guy and
Yeah.
what is happening? Because
Right.
it's not a song they know. They're like, what the
Yeah,
f-? And everyone in chat is like, dude, why has this guy been singing over the same song for 10 minutes? Like, I'm probably not the guy for the job, but it's very nice that she let me. And this year, this was a few months ago, I got up to do my performance, and it just like my computer froze
In the middle of the set?
and it's and I'm opening it. I only have 10 minutes, and my computer just like, I started making a beat, and then it just like, it kept like, I got the Mac spinning wheel of death.
Oh no.
And I couldn't add any sounds because my DAW was frozen.
Oh man.
And I mean, as an improv person, this is like cool because now you get to show people like, all right, this is what I can do because everything's breaking. But
Yeah.
also my mic kept freezing too. So for a pretty long, a few minutes, I mean, it felt like an eternity. It was like a real nightmare. It was like, cause there was like,
panic.
I think hundreds of thousands of live viewers watching this happen to me. And I couldn't even, like, my mic wouldn't even allow me to be like, everything's breaking. And like, eventually I at least kind of like, I didn't get to make like a full beat, but I kind of got to rap a little to like give context that, hey guys, everything is broken right now.
Yeah.
But it was pretty bad. I finished the set.
Whoa.
And I was like, obviously I should have just like stayed there and watched the show.
Yeah.
And instead I just like, I put my gear down and just like walked. I just like went out. I like just started walking. I called my girlfriend. I was like,
Just to get away?
Oh yeah. I was just like, I called my girlfriend. I was like, maybe I can just like catch a flight right now and have them mail me my equipment. And I just never have to go back there. So I like
never want to show your face again.
I never wanted those people to see me.
Wow.
But fortunately, the benefit of me being not that known is everyone was like, well, like I think it was pretty obvious that my stuff was breaking.
Yeah.
But B, like no one remembered that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't
right.
like a famous person getting really like a really embarrassing thing. It was just like a random.
And even if it was a famous person, like,
it happens.
the biggest, it's always the biggest in your head.
Yeah.
Everyone's too consumed with their own shit.
Yeah.
They're doing something.
No one
they're
was
busy.
thinking about that later.
They forget it 2 seconds.
But dude, it was pretty bad. So
I can't imagine.
So
man.
when it's time, it may be time to upgrade to the PC at some
I feel
point.
like yeah, for sure. If you ever need a PC, let me know. We'll set it up.
What's the lightest one? Like, because I like
laptop
that it's
or like a desktop.
Well, like, I guess. I mean, is there like a Mac Mini equivalent?
I mean, there are tons of like mini PCs that are getting really powerful. That have good processors,
Like better than
upgradable
that?
RAM. Oh
Right.
yeah, for sure. So we can definitely explore some options.
My problem is since then, like now I have a lot of like macros that probably would be hard to port over
Yeah.
to PC, but probably eventually I need as good of a processor as possible so I don't risk this happening.
Right. No, we could definitely I could help you.
Like I'm
set up
still
something.
like this happened months ago and like it could happen again. Like at any time I get a performance slot that's small,
Right.
I'm like, dude, everything is so jerry-rigged. Like it could break instantly.
Right.
I need like what's good is if I have like on my streams, I have a few hours minimum. So
Yeah.
like something breaks, like, all right, let's turn it off, turn it back on.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
like, dude, I would never
live
do. I don't
performance.
think I could ever do like America's Got Talent or some shit like that because it's so little time.
Yeah.
I could really get. I could really
Yeah.
get rocked.
Yeah, there's nothing truly as terrifying, I
Yeah.
think, as just having that panic moment live.
Yeah, in a
during
short
set,
time slot.
In
Yeah,
a short time slot.
Do you have any like equivalent you've had to do?
man, not to that level because I don't really do live stuff. You know,
Yeah,
it's like I've had stream.
You can mess up and cut it out.
Exactly. Yeah, but nothing really like that. I mean, fortunately,
what I like about improv versus just normal music production is it's real. So like you mess up and you're messing up. It's happening, but like. It's not fun when it happens in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, right. When you're trying to get a party started, trying to get people dancing.
It's definitely real, but reality sucks sometimes.
Yeah,
we don't got to do that all the time.
It's not the reality you want at the time.
I would like a reality where I'm cool 100% of the time.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's what's happening right now.
Dude. Yeah, it's so interesting, man, because it's like what you do, it's so unique again that it requires an explanation. So I feel like when you're at an event or doing something like you were at that Stream Award ceremony is like, people don't even really understand what's happening. You know what I mean? It's like, why is he spending so much time on the intro? It's like, no, he's crafting a beat from nothing. Yeah. And I feel like, do you ever feel like you wish there was a better way to just communicate to people? Like,
yeah. I mean, I wish it was more legible. I will say I've always found like the contextualization of improv pretty whack. Like if when you go to an improv comedy show, whenever they like come out in the beginning and they're like, just so everyone knows, we're making this up all on the spot. This is all from our heads. We just made this. We're making this right now. Right. Like when they really hammer home, that's how you know it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Because like if it was funny, like it's impressive, but it wouldn't, you wouldn't need that context. You would just be like, oh, that's funny. So I've always felt like, yes, I wish people could understand what I was doing more just so they sort of like understand my decisions.
Sure.
But I think part of me likes when people don't realize it's improvised. Because, like, if people are just like, oh, that's like a bad song he's playing, then I'm like, oh, you think I'm playing a song?
Exactly.
It's pretty sick.
Exactly.
It's pretty good.
Whereas, like, making that disclaimer up front is almost like...
It kind of cheapens it a bit.
It's like, give me a pass for in case this sucks.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So I guess I'm like... maybe I'm a little conflicted. I wish people understood more, but I like that sometimes they just think it's a song.
I think it's admirable that you take that challenge upon yourself.
Yeah. And then it's just like a lot of these songs kind of are long.
Yeah.
This guy's music taste is like very weird.
You
like,
got
these
time,
are some
don't you?
long
You got some
fucking
time
songs. Yeah.
All right, let me go into some of these questions from the Discord. Some of these guys are from your Discord, some of them are from mine.
They're just like so specialized.
Yes, they're all over the place. So I think maybe one of them I'm just like, I'll have to get Ari's input on this one. Right. But this first one's from Shbingo. Where does the music come from? Tunes and melodies seem to pop out of your head like it's nothing, and it's beyond impressive. It's just mind blowing.
Oh, that's so nice.
Where does the music come from?
Where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah, man. How does it work? How does it work in your head?
That's actually so the chords are pretty like, I think like formulaic.
Yeah.
Or they can be at least. Like I still don't do this as much on the IRL streams because I feel like it needs to be a little tighter.
Right.
But like I know we're like the 1 and the 5 and the put in some 7s and 9s. Like there's some like just basic music theory stuff. But I sometimes I just like to like close my eyes and just like you space out your fingers in a way and you try to find something that sounds cool.
Damn.
I actually I think a lot of my like I don't have formal music theory training. It's a lot of just like figuring out how to space your fingers so it sounds okay.
Yeah, I'm sure if I just space my fingers out across a grand piano, I'll sound exactly like you.
If you play an A minor, you might surprise yourself. It's just all the white keys. Or you could play if you play an E flat, it's all the black keys, and then you just, you could make some. You could cut some shit.
Wait, so like that leads me to something, which is like every one of your songs that I've heard, and I've heard a lot of them, sound so different and so varied from one another.
I thought you were about to say like every one of your songs like sounds the same.
No, like the polar opposite. So like how do you do that? Like because I feel like most people who do improv like they kind of like you can be like, oh, that's so and so. You can just they have a certain sound.
Yeah.
But you're all over the place. It's like so refreshing every time. How do you make every song sound so different when they're just minutes apart?
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. I think I just it's just at the forefront of my mind. So like I don't like the feeling of having crutches, and like if you watch the last few streams, like the outside ones, they're more kind of like crutch based. Like I'm often playing a solo with the same sound, but yeah, a lot of it is just like being comfortable enough to do trial and error in the middle of a song. Like play something, you're like, nope, like let me play something else.
Gotcha.
And also like I set up my audio template in a way where like I don't even know what all of the sounds are or where they are. So like for instance, like I have like it's basically I use Ableton and I turned it into like a number pad macro base. So like if I enter 12 and press enter, that's like a specific drum. That's all these like drum sounds.
Okay.
Like if I enter like 76, it's like this like saw wave. But then there's some numbers like the 400, 500 area that I just like don't know. So I could just type in kind of random numbers and like I think that benefits it, like the sonic part.
Right.
But I don't know. I think there's still commonality between them that I want to work on getting around.
Yeah.
Just like I think just I don't know, it's just prioritizing it.
Damn. That's wildly impressive, dude.
Dude, thank you.
Lucci asked, I think this already was covered. How'd you get into music? Do you have any, you said you didn't have any formal education on music, like music theory anyway?
Yeah, not music theory.
Just,
I took some like
with
electronic
instruments.
music classes in college, but they're always like they're like always about like really like early avant-garde electronic music. Have you ever heard any of that stuff?
I don't think.
Like 1950s, like it's just like it's legit like beeps and boops.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I mean it's cool.
Electronic.
That's when it was created.
That in my mind would just be like the sound of like dial-up, like a 56K modem.
It's not.
If you even know what that.
I know what that is,
Okay.
and it's actually not that different.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, some of it's pretty cool, but it's like honestly, it was started sort of by scientists, more scientist type people than like real musician types.
Yeah.
Just trying to like plug in wires and see what they could create.
It makes sense that electric music used to be just like nerds.
Yeah,
You know? And
I
then
mean,
eventually,
one could say still is dominated by that group. But so in those classes, like I don't know if I really learned that much that contributed to what I do.
Sure.
Like I was always taking them like, I would really like to learn how to like mix, you know, I want to make my mixes good.
Right.
And then those professors, like, they're like, dude, I don't fucking know how to mix. Dude, you're good. Like they would always be like, dude, just like put no rhythm or melody in your songs.
Just
and
spread your fingers out.
Yeah.
Just spread them further. Just spread them wider.
Your fingers, they're too close together, man.
What about Elongating Muskrats asked, stream with foot cam when?
Stream.
All right, this was one that I was like, is this an Ari like inside joke with his community?
No, I don't think
people
that's
have people been striking to see your feet on cam?
Not that I know of, but if there's a price, I'm open to hearing it. I did my first hot tub stream last week.
Oh shit, yeah.
It was very effective actually. It was pretty sick. It's good. My rig broke in half, so I was trying to like fundraise a little bit just to like get it repaired and pay for like the welding.
Yeah.
So I put all my gear over the tub.
Nice. Dude.
Was
it like an indoor
yeah, like a real
inflatable?
No, it was like a legit bathtub.
Oh, legit bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
My parents were like, dude, couldn't you have gotten electrocuted? And I was like,
fair point.
I was like, no, like I looked up all the voltages. Dude, I don't know what the fuck voltage.
Yeah, no way. You're playing with fire.
Yeah. The looper, I think the looper could have, I don't know if it would have killed me. It could have hurt me, I think, if it fell in. What do you think? Like 9 volts, 2 amps? I feel like I'd be fine, dude.
I mean, it's probably like I'm a bitch, so it's probably something that I wouldn't even risk.
Okay.
Because I just don't know enough about it. I'm just like, nah.
I was more concerned about the equipment breaking than I was me being affected, I think.
You're just getting shocked. You're like, save the keyboard.
I gotta rescue the keyboard.
Not the MIDI machine.
Yeah.
But that's wild. So, I mean, say what you will about those hot tub streamers, about all the thoughts.
They're geniuses.
They're onto something.
They're brilliant.
So many of them wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't super lucrative.
Oh yeah.
Like
you know what else I was gonna say?
Yeah.
I know some like ASMR streamers.
Yeah.
And they talk a lot about how it's boring. Like it's really
the ASMR, like making ASMR videos.
When you're just like, good boy, or what do they say? I know, like, you're doing so
wait,
good.
Hold on. What kind of ASMR videos are you watching?
This is a whoopsie.
Because that sounds, and I know there is like sexy ASMR.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, sexy ASMR.
I don't associate with any non-sexy ASMR.
Really?
People.
Okay, because I listen to ASMR, but like the non-sexy kind, like the OG, just like help me fall asleep, not help me wake up.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Okay. Sometimes you got to wake up before you fall asleep.
Facts. But that is a niche that whole category has taken, where it's like, all right, how do we sexualize this? How do we make licking noises? We can do that right now.
No, I was talking about that because it's because it's like a close relative of like the hot tub stream type
For
stuff,
sure.
and sometimes there's like intersection.
Yeah.
But so like those people often talk about, it's really boring. And like I remember
would
seeing
imagine.
like Amaranth will like watch like movies while she's like doing ASMR streams. She's just like doing other shit.
Yeah,
just
right.
Going, like just autopilot, which is like dope.
Yeah.
But I really liked the hot tub stream that I did because
Yeah.
it was like being in a sauna.
Oh, nice.
I was like, because I was
comfortable.
Like the tub was like actually had hot water in it.
Nice.
So I was like sitting in the hot tub. I was
Yeah.
like, this is dope. I had a redeemable where like if you tipped a certain amount, there was a shower behind the tub, and I would like take a cold shower. So then I'm just like doing sauna shit. I had my like LED light in the shower, so it was like purple.
Yeah.
It was like cute. I was making like vibey like meditation type sounds with like a bunch of bells for like the
Nice.
songs.
Nice.
I was like, yo, like if this wasn't extremely dangerous and if I owned a bathtub and I wasn't crashing in my friend's house,
Right.
this could be really fun to do a lot of
So
the time.
you did it in your friend's bathtub?
Yeah.
That's even better.
That's
my favorite part of that story.
I was a really bad guest, dude. I was so bad.
Can I borrow your
'cause,
bathtub to
dude,
do a
the first
stream?
thing I did, you've seen my rig, but you haven't
Yeah.
seen the case that the rig comes in, which is like this giant
Right.
road case. And then I have another giant like duffel bag for all my other stuff because
Yeah.
I'm here for like a month, like going from state to state. So I have so much shit. I pull up to their place. They're like, dude, what is happening? And then I'm like, I come back one day, I'm like, my rig broke. Is there any way I could like stream from your bathroom? Haha. And they were like, oh, maybe. And then I just like, I took over their bathroom. It like,
Damn.
all my gear was everywhere. Like no one, like it was, and like everyone was afraid to pee because I had like a camera,
Yeah.
facing the toilet.
Yeah.
And I also I didn't end up doing this, but I wanted some friends to come over and dance in the shower behind
Yes,
me.
that would've
Like
been dope.
I wanted them running the shower, just wearing bathing suits, going like, I don't even
Everyone's
know.
in water wings and rubber duckies.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
So I asked them too. I was like, hey, is it cool if I like invite some people that you don't know to dance in your shower while I sit in your bathtub? I was like, I must have apologized like 50 times. And I was like, this has got to be the weirdest, worst thing. It was their fault because it wasn't their fault, but it was when I first pulled up, they were
Yeah.
like, we have a bath. If you want to take a bubble bath,
Yeah.
like we always tell whoever stays with us they can take a bubble bath, and only one person has ever done it. And I was like, haha, and immediately took a bubble bath.
Immediately.
And then I was like, that's so dope. I gotta take it again. I have to take a 5-hour version.
Well,
of that.
dude, I've been waiting for you to come to LA for such a long time, to just like, so we can hang out in
Yeah.
person and stuff. And I'm so glad that you're not staying with me. I just couldn't be more
Do
stoked.
you have a bath?
Couldn't be more stoked. Oh, I've got 2 baths.
Oh shit, dude.
And you're chilling in none of them.
I might break in tonight.
Literally, you've spent probably 3 minutes in my house total.
Yeah.
And
It was already weird.
And it was 99% you shaving.
Yeah.
This guy literally shaved in my. He's like, can we make a pit stop? He's like, do you have like an HDMI wireless transmitter? I was like, no. He's like, okay, do you have like this other thing? I was like, no. He's like, do you have shaving cream? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, I just need to shave up real quick before the podcast.
The people where I'm staying, they weren't awake yet, so I couldn't find the shaving cream, and I bought a razor. So I was like, I don't have a lot of hair. That was my justification was like, if I had a beard, that would be a little inappropriate, But I just need a few strokes, and I'm good.
Right, but
Your incentives
but doing
are just
a
there.
bubble bath stream in your friend's hot tub, not crossing any
Yeah,
boundaries
yeah,
there.
that's super normal, acceptable
That's
behavior.
super normal.
Super chill.
Loyal Pawn, what was it like making the jump from student to streamer? Like when you said to yourself, I think I can pay rent by doing this. It seems very
Oh.
daunting to me.
Oh yeah, that was
a good question.
Well, actually, that gets increasingly daunting as I fall off.
Yeah.
But no, when I was in school. So when I was streaming before I went back to school, I always felt like I was less pressed because I was like, I haven't
Yeah.
even started my like career and stuff. Like I could just get a normal job after
Right.
school, maybe. Like I was doing some like freelancing on the side, but like I felt more comfortable to just like put a bunch of hours in streaming. And as the semester went on, because it was just one when I got back there, I was still pretty small on Twitch, and I was sort of like, wouldn't it be sick if this was like my job? But I was probably just making like a few hundred a month, so
Sure.
not enough for living in New York City.
Yeah.
And I had a thought, which was maybe when I leave, as soon as I finish the semester, I do like a Hail Mary where like I do like a subathon, but like all music. So I'm just doing like 15 hours of music every day.
Jesus.
And like eating and just like see if I can make it work.
Yeah.
And that was like, I never did that idea. Probably a bad idea. But that was like what was coming. and then I was fortunate enough to like I had just like this really big. I went on like the Austin show, which is like a talent show hosted by streamers.
Okay.
And then I just like I did well in my 5 minutes. My computer did not crash.
Nice.
God bless.
Nice.
So I got like a lot more attention, at least in that like from that, and for the next few months, I like my Twitch was actually like popping enough to like
Right.
sort of start supporting me.
Nice.
So yeah, that was why I was like, oh, okay, maybe I don't need to look for a job yet. I can like ride this out for a little and like see how it's going. And yeah, I'm still doing it. Although every month I'm like, it might be time to get a job.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
it gets a little scarier.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think the older you get, the more responsibilities and more bills you have.
Yeah.
Just like life just gets more serious
Life's-
in general.
yeah,
There's more accountability and everything, and you're just like, all right, it's almost like a race between like how fast can I take this off the ground, and
Exactly.
how at what point is life going to get too much, too overwhelming
Yeah.
for this to cover.
I've always thought like when you're on the internet, if you're not growing, you're kind of dying. Like you're not like the space makes it more uncomfortable to just stay in the same place.
Yeah.
Like, cause I feel like whenever I would be like worrying about this type of stuff, if I talked about it on stream, like people there would be like, dude, like we're all here. Like what's going on? Like it's
Right.
fine. We're all here. And like, which is true. But it's still, I don't know. It's like a concerning thing to think about.
Yeah.
I was going somewhere with this sentence. I was gonna end it in a different place, but I just blanked out on what it was.
But I feel you though.
Oh,
like,
I remember. Sorry.
yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say that like since leaving school, I've been like I need to more actively try to like innovate and switch things up, and not get too stagnant.
Right.
And so that was why I had this like my IRL rig idea. But
Yeah.
the problem with that is that thing is insanely expensive and it's not lucrative at all right now.
Right.
So like people are more engaged, people like it more than just me chilling in my room, but it does not make money and it costs all of my money.
Is the cost, is it all up front, or is it like continual costs?
Shit is breaking all the time.
Because it's just breaking constantly.
Everything is breaking all the time.
Really? Because you're just banging it up.
What's
You're just-
cool
and you're
about the
taking it
desktop
everywhere.
setup is, I paid for the gear,
Yeah.
and then I was good. Like,
Right.
it lasted me 3 years, and
Yeah.
I had to repair maybe like replace one thing once.
Right.
And like every stream, it's free. Right.
Yeah.
I guess I have to pay my internet bill and my utilities, but like
For the most part.
there's no like expense per stream versus like IRL streaming is expensive. You got to pay for like multiple internet plans.
Right.
You got to pay for a server.
Yeah.
I with my rig, I have to pay to Uber everywhere I
Sure.
go. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm always spending.
Right.
Yeah.
And travel costs too.
Travel costs. It's a weirder.
very true.
I feel like, if you talk to enough IRL streamers, they'll say like, even when they're like crushing it,
Yeah.
and they're getting really good views and they get all sorts of tips, like they spend way more money because they have to like their content, like the world they're in needs to be interesting, so they have to go
Right.
places and do interesting things and pay for stuff.
Right.
Versus someone chilling in their room can kind of just like, you set it up and you're good to go.
Yeah. Do you think now that you've been doing the IRL streams for a while now, do you feel like, what's your priority? Like what area of your work right now do you want to see take off the most, or like do you want to put most of your focus in? Is it music production? Is it these IRL streams? Let's say like logistics wasn't a concern, you could have it any way you wanted. Like where are you? Where's
I
your
think
path
right now
headed right now?
I'm pretty one track minded, which is probably a weakness of mine. But I like right now, I mean, I only do improv as a detour. Like I only ever started doing this because I was like, this will be an easier way to like build a following instead of trying to get like produced songs playlisted on Spotify.
It's a hell of a detour.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll just do like, well, it's because I thought I would be famous in a week. I was like, I'll just like go hop on my stream and everyone will be like, this is the dopest shit ever, and I'll be
Yeah.
famous in a week, and then I'll put my song out.
Yeah.
And that did not happen.
Sure.
It's gonna happen next week.
Yeah,
But
just give
it
it a
has
few more
not.
days.
It wasn't that week, but it's this week for sure.
It's on the rise. Yeah,
It's
around the corner.
Yeah. So I think probably right now, I mean, I love this shit. I
Yeah.
find it's cool because especially like if I'm at a party or if I'm talking to people and I'm like, I do music, everyone's assumption is always like, oh, okay, like you can play the guitar and you
Right.
make your shitty
Or
song.
you're a DJ, you press
yeah,
two
yeah,
buttons.
and like so then whenever I get to explain what I do, I like that it's really unique.
Yeah.
I like being a more
Yeah.
like specialized, weirder music performer type person.
Right.
But I mean, probably eventually it would be sick to just sort of like be a music producer, either for myself or even like if I find people that I really fuck with to just like produce for them.
Sure.
But I think probably I'll always now want a little space for this type of stuff. It's just
For
so
sure.
cool. I feel like I'm like a freaking like an art student when I walk around with it, because like when I was in my room I was just like, this is not too different from other stuff that other people do. Like,
Yeah.
I'd like to think that my sound is a little unique, but
Right.
like, you know, there's all sorts of improv looper people making stuff. And,
Sure.
you know, there's a whole community.
Right.
And I get to just, who else is doing that shit? It's so random.
Yeah.
Like the people I get compared to now for my outside stuff kind of do totally different shit.
Right.
Which is like, I like that. Like if
Yeah,
I'm going to
definitely.
get compared to someone, it's dope if they're not exactly the same.
Well, yeah, it's almost like you feel like you stand out a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's almost like validating in a way to feel like you're kind of breaking the mold or doing something that's innovative and sort of outside the box.
Yeah.
Which I think is important for your own sense of like creativity.
Yeah,
That you are doing
yeah.
something cool and new and
Yeah.
different. And I think that's motivating too as an artist.
Do you feel that way? Like, are you ever stressing about like, is what I do like too similar to what other people do?
Yeah, I definitely think that all the time. You know, I this podcast, for example, it's like, how do I differentiate this from there's so many, it's like such a saturated market now.
What do you do?
You know what I mean? I think honestly,
We got to bring the
it's-
podcast outside. We
so
got an
I've
IRL
got-
podcast. We could do an IRL podcast.
We honestly could
today.
though. Maybe
I got
that's a thing.
I got a mic for you.
Maybe that's a thing.
We're just walking around and they're
Hey.
like, oh, like, are you guys playing music? We're like, no,
No, we're podcasting.
We're talking about crypto.
Right after this break from Liquid Death.
walking podcast.
Dude, actually, that's not a bad idea.
Oh yeah, dude. I think that because like the basis of my rig is basically just like it's a floating desk.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's no straps.
Right.
It's just like this desk that comes out because there's a brace around my chest.
Right.
You can put a lot of things on that, bro. Like you could be gaming walking around. You could be maybe
Dude.
cooking walking around.
Dude, I like the idea of a floating kind of like wandering podcast, because then like you could just like, if you're like in a debate with like your co-host,
Just start walking away.
You just like put a mic to someone's face, like, what do you think about this whole fucking, you know, political shit? And they're just like,
That's
what?
kind of funny, bro.
Dude, that'd be so fucking funny. It's like man on the street interviews, you know, meets podcasting.
Yeah. And then on the desk, like you put like a little like a cup and stuff, and you like make like a plant,
right.
try to make it cute.
And it's like,
I feel like someone must have done this.
And if you're
already,
like,
no?
it's just like, you know, like we said, the randomness of streaming in public, especially if like if you're in downtown LA,
Yeah.
you're gonna catch some guy taking a shit on the road behind you. Like
Yeah.
you won't even know. There'll be five. of
Well,
them.
I hope I don't.
you haven't been you haven't been in LA long enough. give it a day
I
or
might
two.
get in trouble.
Give it a day or two. Go to Hollywood Boulevard.
I used to be very when I started this, I was very concerned about like people flashing and stuff. Turns out people don't really want to show me their boobs. It's less of a thing. I really thought it would be a huge problem,
Right.
but I'm actually okay.
The silver linings, man.
Yeah, man. Thank God, dude.
JC Otter asked, last question here for now. You are known for writing extremely catchy hooks, something that you had just mentioned.
Hook game, bro.
Garnering titles such as Garth Hooks, Captain Hook, etc. Could you describe in detail your process for building a hook for a song, including how you choose the chord structure, build the vocal harmony, and where you get the magic pixie dust that makes it stick in a listener's head for days at a time? Woo! That's a hell of a question,
Damn.
JC.
Dude, I may have gotten my ego about my hooks from this very person. Who has called me Garth Hooks?
That is an insane hype man.
Yeah,
You should hire
I
that
think
guy to walk
actually-
around with
actually,
you.
my hooks are terrible, but JC's been rizzing me up. Okay, some of that I can answer, some of that I don't know.
Sure.
So like my melody instincts are really not taught. Like that's actually the most like that's probably like the main thing in my workflow that I don't understand. Like I used to, before I did any music production, I just used to always like sing to myself. Like
Yeah.
when I was like a little kid, like 4 or 5.
Right.
And my parents were like, he's a genius. And then they gassed me up so much that every time I fail in life, I'm like, I feel like a total disaster because I was
right.
supposed to be good at everything.
No pressure on the kid.
No, but I don't know why. I've always had things come to me, and like so sometimes you sit down at a piano and you just like you're working, you're trying to come up with a melody.
Right.
But when I was doing music production, the best things would always just be like when something would just pop into my head.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a part of that, like the notes themselves. I think if you really studied it, I think I just only sing and play in the blues scale pretty much. So that just always sounds pretty good.
Yeah. When something pops in your head, is it because you're actively trying to think of it, or does it like you might be driving, or is it random? Like
so on the stream, I need to think of it, but
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes randomly stuff will pop into my head. That
Sure.
part of the reason I wanted to create like a streamlined production rig is because like I wanted to speed up the process for if I got a random idea to just
Right.
make it as fast as possible.
Gotcha.
Like I had a very fun experience like an early semester in college where I just like got super baked.
Yeah.
And I like just like there was this melody and I was like, that meme, like, what is this melody? And then I had to like make the song out of it. But the
Yeah.
song took like 8 hours. I wasn't even high by the time it was done.
Right. Right.
So I wanted to like be able to make it fast. The
Yeah.
thing about the choruses that make them good, here's the secret sauce for when you drop your mixtape.
Here we go.
Is the
Taking
trick
notes.
is, here's the formulaic part.
Yeah.
You come up with the melody. If it's good, you're like, dope. Now we got to record the melody 2 more times on the left side and the right side. And this is the part where I lose the crowd because I'm recording this what sounds like the exact same thing multiple times.
Right.
So the chorus has happened now 6 times or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then I don't know. Then you just like you sing the 3rd above that. You sing a 5th above that.
Right.
Maybe you sing a 7th above that. Like the harmony on the chorus is I think usually pretty formulaic. I'm usually
Sure.
not doing anything too crazy. The melody, I don't know. I will say, my roommate in New York. We had like the living room was in between us, so like my room was here, his room was here.
Yeah.
And oh no, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was the roommate before him. I forget. Whoever it was. I had a roommate that was like, hey, like I always hear you singing because they don't hear the mix. They just hear me out of tune yelling in my room.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, like all your choruses are the same. And I was like, are they? And they were like, well, I just always hear you like singing like the same notes. And so maybe that's it.
Right.
I don't think I do that, but I might.
Interesting.
I think if we ran some AI or whatever, some AI analysis, I might be disappointed to see that I'm actually a lot less creative than I'd like to think.
dude. I think you're
I'm
you're
Da
fooling
Vinci.
yourself.
Yeah, you're right.
You are a genius.
I'm a genius. I take it back. AI will never compete with
Prodigy.
what I have put together. I am a wizard.
Dude, that's wild. That's a good question. Do you ever, like with this whole AI boom, do you think that there's any threat there with like creators like you?
No, because I'm the fucking
Because you're the fucking G.
I don't feel too threatened. I have a good friend
Yeah.
who is, in my opinion, maybe the most prodigious improv loop guy of all time, Beardy
Yeah.
Man. He is...
What's his name?
Beardy Man.
Oh, Beardy Man.
So he does... he makes complete songs, but he almost exclusively makes them out of noises he makes with his mouth. So he started as a really
Whoa.
proficient beatboxer, and then he built his whole custom rig to process all of these vocals and sounds.
Whoa.
And he'll just like, he makes music so fast that no one could possibly know it's improvised. Like if you think
Wow.
I'm fast, this guy like is leaving me in the dust. Like he'll make just a complete song in like whatever, 1 minute or 2. Cause
Oh my God.
for 20 years, he's been like, I want to figure out how to make something on the fly as fast as a real song where it's completely indistinguishable.
That sounds crazy.
He is very worried about AI, which is
Okay.
really interesting to me. I see him like doom posting or whatever on Twitter.
Yeah.
I just like, I haven't heard any AI music that was not very carefully curated by a person that was good
Right.
or interesting.
Yeah.
I think that AI will get really good at like whatever corporate type music, like the music that plays in CVS, hold music, bro. It's going to be hold music.
Yeah,
It's going to
yeah,
be
for
AI.
sure.
There's going to be some lit hold
Right.
music.
Right.
I mean that sucks because that's a lot of musicians and composers that make their money, doing
Yeah.
those sorts of gigs, and like I think that's gonna really with those people. I think it's gonna have like an economic impact. I think a huge one,
Dude.
but I think that like innovative, challenging music,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything to me that will suggest that AI will be able to do that because AI is just trained on what we make.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
but I feel like the better that we get, the better it will get.
No, but won't it always just be at best just as good as us?
It depends. 'Cause-
I just haven't seen anything that looks better.
Well, even though it'll be just as good as us, it's going to be a lot cheaper than us.
Oh, so so what I'm saying is, I think that the idea of making money from music, that might be gone. That might already have been gone.
Because the other thing too is that like for like really creative shit from people like you where the music is so unique, that's one thing. But it's like you listen to like the top 40 songs on the radio, and it's like it's not anything that even basic AI can't do now. Which is like what 90% of the population listens to.
No, I think
just
that
nuts.
yes, and I think that's true. I guess what would concern me, I don't even know concern, but what would feel more like relevant or like truly terrifying would be if it's like the human creative spirit is actually just like it's just like a dialogue tree that AI can follow, and what we think is innovation is not real, and AI can do that too.
It's just a program.
That would terrify me, but at least from what I've seen now, I feel like AI can do what we do really well, but it can't make something new. People can make new shit. So it's like if the goal is to not care about money and just make some zany shit
just for the sake of art,
then art for art's sake, I feel like is okay. Art for paying for your rent, we're for sure. I mean, I think like the idea of like, being a creator is something where you try to foster a relationship between your fans. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do, and that's probably what we'll all have to do. I don't think the music will pay for itself. I think people will just like I have to hope that there will always be room for just like people liking someone's vision and wanting to see what they can make.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's good that art can exist for art's sake, even in the face of AI. But I feel like if artists aren't able to make money off of it, then like that's so many great artists that we'll never hear.
I mean, it's true. No, I think it will be. I'm not saying like we're fine. I definitely I think we're in trouble. But like what my friend Beardy Man posts about isn't even. I mean, it's about that too, but it's also just about like kind of like the creative spirit. Yeah. The human creative spirit, which I feel like I have more faith in that. Like I currently have nothing to lead me to believe that AI can come up with better ideas than us.
Right. And
maybe it will.
And I also think like live performance will also keep the human spirit alive.
Because it's more than just like it's more than just fulfilling a set of expectations. Yeah. It's like an experience.
It is. You're not going to go to buy tickets to a stadium just to hear music being played out of a speaker.
Well, I don't know if that's true.
Okay, but I mean, usually you're there for usually you're there for some artist.
Yeah.
Some human artist,
and for like the people in attendance for it to be a vibe.
Right.
I see like the AI rappers that were like coming out and stuff.
I saw like the Tupac hologram a long time ago. What are the AI rappers? Oh, like Drake and stuff, like the fake.
No, like the
fake songs.
Like companies like manufacture an AI artist.
But
like that shit, it's like not real because it's like it's like the Drake shit. It's curated by a person. Like honestly, I'm pumped about AI because I think that like to me, what's exciting is the idea of AI tools in the hands of real people can be like pretty sick.
For sure.
I don't think to me, I'm not that interested in making a song and then making it sound like I'm Drake. Yeah. Because that's just like SEO shit. Like that's not like that doesn't feel like that transformative.
Right.
But like for instance, software. What am I trying to say? Emulations of live instruments. Like like for instance, I can't play the guitar. But I can cue up a guitar sound in software and play it with the piano, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound. A real instrumentalist will sound cooler.
Sure.
So like to me, like what if I could just like play something and AI figures out how to like make it sound like it's a live instrument, or like what if I could sing into a mic and then it figures out how to turn it into a choir, or like what if I'm like, hey, I don't like my live vocal mic, I want to use this mic when I'm outside, and AI can figure out how to just like make this sound like that.
Right.
And I guess, even while I'm saying that, the downside is like, those are all people that you could have hired that you're trying to skip out on. So I mean, it does feel evil. Ways. It is evil.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like cool and evil.
I actually just,
weird combo.
Just saying that, I was like, wait, that might be evil.
I think this is what people are terrified of.
Oh shit! All right, I take back everything I said.
Isn't that weird? It could be like so scary, but so cool at the same time.
Like to me, it's exciting, but yeah, maybe it's only exciting because I didn't want to pay a guitarist.
Now, like 5 families that I know.
I was the corporation. I was just team corporation.
You're big corporate, dude.
No, dude, come on, Kyle. AI is great. Like I don't have to pay anyone now.
You're the big C, baby.
I don't know. Maybe there's some things AI could do that doesn't put someone out of a job that can also make me do cool stuff.
Dude,
I don't know.
I know, man. It's going to be weird. Like these next 5-10 years is going to be really wacky. It's already weird, but we've been going for a while now. We do have some live performance shit.
That we
I
was just
going
gonna
to
ask what your thoughts were about it.
You
let me talk myself into a corner there.
Well, dude, I pretty much agree with most everything you said. I do feel like we're just at the beginning phase of AI.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the next big thing that's going to really change our society in a big way.
Yeah.
Just like the internet changed it. I feel like this is the biggest thing since the internet. And just how different life looks now than it did pre AOL, pre internet. I think things are going to get a lot weirder, and it's going to be harder to discern reality from fiction or something that's computer generated.
I kind of
do you think that's bad? Already kind of hard. I think it's going to be. I think it has the potential to be dangerous in the wrong hands. And of course, as the technology gets more common and more easy to use, it's going to fall into the hands of more bad actors.
That's
and
true,
it's going to just cause more shitstorms. It's going to be able to do some amazing, incredible things too that we've never before seen. That's just going to blow our freaking minds and be beautiful. But then there's also a dark side to it. I see of really just I think maybe making us a bit more skeptical or paranoid, or I mean, you've already heard about like the AI scams, like people like using AI voice. They'll like clone like some girl's voice and then show it to their parents on the phone, and they're like they think that their daughter has been kidnapped and held for ransom, and they'll wire them
I have not
10
heard
grand.
about that.
This has been happening all over, and like these AI voices are so convincing that and it's preying on parents' emotional response of like, this is my child.
I mean, that's insane.
It's safer for me to believe this than to not believe it, right? Because it could mean my child's at risk. Dude. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is day one of bad people getting AI. Imagine what day 5,000 looks like with this level of
I've always thought like AI does kind of seem like a neat solution to like over surveillance and like the fact that our data is everyone has it now. Because now it's like, well, you don't know what's real,
right?
Like it's time for me to rob a bank, and then they play the video. I'm like, it's AI. I don't know.
Right.
But I see what you're saying too about like, then the problem is like, I mean, I think that could be like a possible benefit of like, there's nothing is private, but now like kind of everything is private because you don't know what's real. But there's definitely some detriment to that too, of not knowing what is real ever.
Yeah, I think it's like out of the frying pan into the fryer type of thing.
I might have to go outside more.
Maybe it solves. Yeah, damn it, I don't like that idea at all. I don't like that idea. I mean, that's the only. I mean, but I mean, that's an interesting point you bring up. It's like at some point, the only thing we'll be able to trust is things that we can look, see, and feel and touch. At least, hopefully, at least for a while.
Yeah.
Right. Because anything that's on a screen or even on a phone now, you just can't. You can't trust it. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see.
It's
where
good to see you and that you are real, because it's
you
true.
As well.
You could have been
you
AI.
As well. I mean, dude, I was like, dude, he's clearly a VTuber. He doesn't even exist.
Do you ever wish you were? I kind of wished I did some VTubing. Maybe.
That's pretty dope, actually.
Or like, or just like the idea of like no one knows who I am, but that could be cool.
I always thought like I think about that all the time. Like like Daft Punk, wearing the helmets and stuff, or like the Slipknot guys. Banksy, just all these huge artists that have somehow remained anonymous in the face of insane fame. Yeah, which I think it's like, damn, it's like that's something that's cool because it's like something that's still theirs. Like their own identity is still for their own keeping.
Do you think? Do you strive? Like, do you want to be famous?
No. I think
you kind of were famous.
I think I think the older I've gotten, the less I've ever wanted anything like that. It was never a goal of mine to try and become more famous or whatever. Yeah. But I think you just hear so much shit like in the news and media where at some point you get big enough where you're no longer like you're almost like the public's, like you're almost like society's plaything. They're in charge. They're it's like you're their toy that they can just like spin lies and spin threads about you. You have to like everything is done in private. You're constantly hiding. You're in hiding constantly. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that doesn't sound like very freeing. No, it doesn't sound like a great existence to me. Yeah. If you could somehow be famous without all the downsides, which there are many, then
what are the upsides?
Then I don't know what the upsides.
You get into the club.
The only kind of upsides I've ever gotten from I guess some people recognizing me is like free food. Like I'll get some free food.
Perks.
That's my level of fame that I want to reach and stay
dude.
at. Like give me free dessert. I want some tiramisu.
Free dessert.
Dude, like
we need that free dessert fame.
French fries on the house.
Whoa.
Like I've made it. I've made it. What more can I ask
I'm with
for?
you there too. I think like when I was a little kid, I was like, I want to be famous and everyone likes me. But then I learned that when you're famous, not
No one
everyone
likes
likes you.
Yeah.
Actually, most people hate you.
Right.
In fact, many people hate you much more than if you weren't famous.
Yeah.
So now I've had to reconfigure my goals.
Yeah. How many famous people have like gotten shot or like killed?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, dude, they're like much hated. Like
every stand-up comedian's had someone rush the stage. At some point.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, why do you think there's security at every single one of these events?
Everyone hates you. I would like some free food. It would be cool to just like be able to make, just like be creative and be able to like comfortably sustain myself and not have to worry. I feel like fame maybe offers some of that, but like even fame dries up, you know, and so like, it sucks, and then you're like, whoops, it's gone. No more French fries.
I
gotta pay for these now.
I think it's definitely been like cool for me to have experienced a little bit of like public.
You get like recognized in public.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
That's sick,
and much less so because I haven't been doing as many tech videos.
Yeah.
But like at the peak of the tech channel, I was getting recognized a few times a month, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it
sick.
can be very
Was it ever
uncool.
like you were out with like friends and they were like,
one time I was bailing my friend out of jail. And it was Is
this like a story you've told?
I don't know if I've actually told this exact story on the pod, but I was bailing him out of jail, and it was on a weekend. So I go into the jail lobby and it's empty because everyone's like not there, but there's just a phone on the wall.
Are there prisoners?
So there's still prisoners in another section of the building.
Okay.
So it's just this empty, creepy lobby, and there's just a phone on the wall, black phone with like some tape that says jail. It's a jail phone. So I just pick it up, and I'm like, I'm here to pick up so-and-so, my friend. And they're like, oh, he's not ready yet. You'll have to come back later tonight. I was like, okay. So I hang up, and as I'm leaving the lobby, some other guy walks in. It's just him and I in this big lobby. And he looks at me, and he's like, do you do YouTube? And I'm just like, this is not happening right now. This is not the time or place.
This feels like a dream.
Yeah. And I was like, do I admit that who I am, or do I like try to play this off? And I was just like, yeah, I do. And he's like, dude, I love your videos. And he just started chatting with me, and I'm just like, do I address the fact that I'm at a jail right now?
Who was he?
He was just a random fan.
No, but like, was he working?
I think no. He was just. I think he was also calling.
To bail someone out.
He was also bailing.
I thought you were
out.
gonna say like the dude on the other end of the jail phone was like, "I'll let your friend out right now, dude."
Like, oh, I recognize your voice.
Let me get a PC.
I was just listening to you.
Oh, I see.
No, it was just some random dude picking up his friend, or probably.
Okay.
And I was just like, "Yep." Like I said something stupid and awkward, like, "Yep, just helping a friend out." You know? Like, I don't know what I said, but it has happened. But I think more so, it's just, I think it comes naturally with social media now. Like if you get a lot of engagement, then you are going to start to get recognized by more people.
Yeah.
And I think the cool thing about that is you do get to meet people face to face as opposed to just interacting in the comments.
Yeah, that's dope.
And so just like, and I think that's validating as a creator or as an artist, is that like, oh, these are real people.
Doesn't
that
feel
are
real online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's sometimes you forget.
Yeah, dude. Especially like on Twitch, when you see these people with like thousands of viewers, and then you don't have those numbers, you're like, oh, I'm so small, bro. Like, if I'm streaming to like 200 people, imagine 200 people watching me.
I always do that visual
would be
thing.
Crazy.
Like, there's so many people watching, and they're all just like sitting in their chairs, hanging out.
Yeah.
Like they could be. There's an infinite number of things that they could be watching instead of this.
Yeah.
And they chose to be here now.
It's pretty dope.
It's sick.
Yeah.
So, but dude, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you've got a show to do. And
with you.
We're gonna do an IRL stream actually right now, right after we stop filming this in Abbot Kinney, which is by Venice Beach. I'm super stoked. This is my first kind of walk along with you on this, and I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be hella fun.
I'm hyped. Thank you so much for having me here.
For sure, dude. Thank you for coming on.
Dude. All right.
All right, guys.
Until next time.
See you later.